Hello and welcome to Dorset Dreamer. Here on this channel, I try and sort my finances out one day at a time while saving for the future that I want. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of colouring. I'm going to have a little bit of a chat with you guys all about our trip to Japan. I'm going to give you some top tips that we learned really when we were over there, and then we're going to go through everything that we spent and break that down into little categories. So while I'm going and doing that and having a chitty chatty with you, I thought I'd do some colouring. So today we are going to the You're Stronger Than the Storm colouring book. I've done colouring before on this channel while I've been having a chat with you guys, and it went down really well. So I'm hoping it'll be just a nice relaxing video for you guys. So I've already picked the one that I've decided on because there was too many to choose from really, and I thought it would just save me a bit of time because I've got a feeling this is going to be a long video anyway. So I've got my usual double tip pens, and yes, so today we are colouring in Do What You Love and Do Not Care What They Think About It. I think that's quite appropriate because, you know, everybody's budget is different and we all spend money very differently to each other. That's what personal finances is. It is personal. So yeah, I like to save and spend my money on holidays and things. Other people spend more on sort of going out and, you know, bits like that. Everybody's different, so is what I'm getting at. So I hope I'm not too rambly today. I've got a feeling I will be. We only got back yesterday and I'm feeling quite tired, and yeah. Anyway, shut up, Katie, and let's get on with the top tips. So while we were away, we did do a lot of pre-planning. I did. Just things that we definitely wanted to see because we weren't there for a very long time. I just didn't want to waste the time there. So yeah, I'm pleased we did that. Yeah, just a bit of pre-planning really was good. Really comfy shoes. You need the comfiest shoes that you can afford or you can wear, because we worked out we walked, I think it was 76 point something miles in the just over the week that we were there, and that was a lot of walking for someone that doesn't really do a lot of exercise in general, actually, if I'm going to be honest with you. So yes, it was good, and the plus was I know I've mentioned a long time ago about my fibromyalgia that I have, and I did take my walking stick and I did not need it the whole time I was there, and that is an absolutely amazing accomplishment for me. When we went away last May, I had to use my walking stick pretty much every day, all day, every day, which, you know, if I need it, I need it. That's fine, but I don't like using it. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was because the weather was a bit cooler. I know it does tend to play up more in the summer. I'm hoping it's just my body is getting, I don't know. I'm just hoping that that's a way forward, really, that I'll never have to use my stick again. But we'll see, one step at a time. So yeah, comfy shoes. You definitely need comfy shoes. Learn basic Japanese, even if it's just hello, thank you, excuse me, just because it's just polite, really. They like the fact that you try, even if you get it completely wrong. I think that's the same in most countries, really, that you go to. As long as you're trying, they appreciate that. That's good. There's no smoking, drinking, or eating while walking. If you eat or drink anything, then you've got to pull in to the side of the road. There is no bins, or hardly any bins. That you might find one by a vending machine, because you're expected to drink your drink next to the vending machine and then get rid of the bottle that you're drinking from straight away. Or you carry a carrier bag, and you put your rubbish in that, and then you take it back to your hotel and you get rid of it that way. So yeah, and smoking, there is a not very often, but in the big sort of cities, there's like smoking areas, which is just like booths, really, that you've got to go in and smoke. You can't smoke just walking down the road. Yeah, I thought it was quite nice actually. It's so clean over there. It's amazing. Google Maps will be your best friend. The amount of times we always get lost, no matter where we go, we get lost. And we even managed to get lost on Google Maps, but then we never really use Google Maps. So I think that's probably why, because we don't use it. I'm just going to put my light on and hopefully you can see a bit better. Hopefully that'll be a bit better for you guys. Yeah, Google Maps, best friend. And but everyone is so friendly. Like, there was a couple of occasions that you just pull to the side of the road and you're trying to figure out what way you've got to go and things like that. And there people, they will actually come up and say, "Can we help you?" And it's just so friendly, so friendly. Pocket Wi-Fi was literally a blessing. So we spent £88, that was for both of us, for the pocket Wi-Fi, and yes, definitely I would not go without that. The roaming charges would have cost us a fortune, and it literally just gave you constant Wi-Fi, which you were using all the time. So yeah, absolutely amazing invention, that one. The bullet train was that was the most expensive day we had, was the bullet train. We went off to Kyoto for the day. It was lovely. The temples up there, it was like, Tokyo is amazing. It's just very busy, very city-like, as you would imagine, whereas Kyoto is still busy, but it's a bit calmer, it's more traditional, a bit more open. Yeah, lovely. I always carried a little a small notepad and pen, just for like little notes and ideas when we were walking around, things that we wanted to try or do, to have written down the currency, the exchange, so you knew roughly how much you were paying for things. I found that really helped, just having a little, and what you wanted to plan. I got quite, the next day plan, what the plan was for the day, even if it was just the areas we want to go to, just because I didn't want to waste the time. Don't know when we'll be able to ever get back to Japan. So yes, because there is a lot more places I want to tick off the list before I go back. Andy would literally go back tomorrow, and I would. It's probably one of the best holidays we've had since we went to South Africa, which was back in 2007, so a long time ago. Since then, all we've been really doing is like the Canaries, or holiday in the UK, sort of Devon and Cornwall area. Yeah, so Notepad was really good, and pre-book activities. There was a couple of activities that we would have liked to have done that we couldn't get into while we were there. But yeah, if we'd pre-booked, that would have been just enough couple of things that we could have ticked off. So there's no tipping. This is what I found really quite difficult in Japan, was it's considered offensive to them, which I still don't understand, but it's considered offensive to them if you tip. yeah, even anywhere, like taxi drivers, restaurants. We did have a really quite awkward moment where there was one restaurant we really wanted to tip in, and we didn't want to seem offensive, so we asked if the girl could come over after we paid our bill, and she sent someone else, which was really awkward. So yeah, that was funny. Yeah, so yeah, strange, because obviously in this, I would feel really awkward if I went to a restaurant and I didn't tip. Although it did kind of make me think we tip people because we feel like we have to, rather than we've enjoyed the customer service or things like that. It did make me think a little bit of, do we over tip in this country? And I know we don't tip as much as like America do, so yeah, it did make me think a little bit about that. It's really cash orientated, so they prefer cash over anything, which is great for cash budgeters. It's just like being at home, really. Yeah, we only use the card once, I think, and that was when Andy bought me some bits, so which didn't obviously come into the budget. That was a separate. So yeah, that's the only time we use the card away. Heated toilet seats. Wow, so the toilet seats are heated. So I think I know why. I think it's because of all the walking you're doing, your butt cheeks hurt so much, so that when you sit down on the toilet, it's a bit like so you have to get up again. I think that's why they do it. I can't think of any other reason why you would do that. Really polite. So they are all really polite. It puts our country to shame, actually, of how polite they are. At one point we had a taxi to, I can't remember where we were going, but and he missed the turning. So at the end of the taxi ride, he tried giving us back 2,000 yen, which would have been about 14-ish pound, because he missed the turning, which is just that, in our country, can you imagine if you missed a turning? Well, it would be like, oh wow, that goes extra onto your taxi bill. So yeah, really polite, really clean, really clean over there. At one stage we actually saw people in the tubes, the subway underground tubes. They were hoovering the stairs. I mean, could you imagine in London if they started hoovering the stairs to the underground? I mean, wow. Yeah, it was like that. It was so clean. And the children were so polite and friendly. We would be up and out early in the morning, and we would see the children going off to school, and it would be sort of, I would guess about 4 or 5, when they first start school, and they're walking to school on their own, with their lovely little school uniforms on that literally look like our private school uniforms, the little hats and everything, and the backpacks are as big as them, and they're walking to school on their own, and you just think, oh my god, like, that just shows how safe it is, because I would never ever let a 5-year-old walk to school on their own. Personally, I know maybe some people would, but I definitely, I just couldn't do that. Yeah, so that was really strange. The backpacks are as big as them, and they're walking off to school, and adorable. Right, so what did we spend? So I've worked out of how much we spent as a couple, and then, because with our holidays, majority of the time we do sort of whatever it is and we split it halfway. that's just the way our money and budget have always worked. So I've done it what it is together, and then I've worked it out what we've spent if we were to split it completely down the middle. So our flights, they were the most expensive thing. Obviously, it's nearly a 15-hour flight, so it's long. The flights were, for both of us, I'm going to go through both of us together. So £1,759 for the flights. Putting that round a long way, that pen. The hotel was a room only, which is what most of them are in any big city like that. They're all sort of room only, bed and breakfast at a push. Yeah. So the hotel room was £273, which is absolutely nothing. I mean, the shower, if you saw my first vlog, the shower, I was like, that's just not gonna, that's gonna be horrendous. But it was so powerful, probably the same, if not more powerful than our shower at home. And we've got, you know, a power shower. So yeah, absolutely insane. The bed was the most uncomfortable bed I've ever slept in my life. It was about 3 inches thick, and it was like it was made of concrete. Yeah, but it was a bed, and we literally, the room, it was small as you could see, but it had everything that you needed. So and for the price, absolutely no regrets at all on that one. So the transfer was, so for a private taxi from the airport to the hotel and then back from the hotel to the airport, we paid £150. But when we got to Japan, the transfer, so you have to wait obviously in the arrivals, basically wasn't there. So we waited an hour and a half. I was getting a bit stroppy at this point. Just because, you know, you're tired, and the people with the boards, there's like less boards, and there's only one area he could be stood in, and he wasn't there. So yeah, that I wasn't very happy with. So we ended up having to get a taxi, which cost us £65. But that was it. We had, you know, it was either that or we were stuck there. So I still need to get on to Travel Republic about that, and see if they can give us any refund. I doubt it, because that's what they're like, but it's worth a shot. I'm sorry if you can hear Ty is having a bit of a moment. Give me a second. Turns out it was a postman, and he put the next door neighbour's post in our letterbox and was trying to get it out. That's what Tyson was having a moan at. Anyway, so where did I get to? Transfer. Yeah, I'm going to try and get the money back, but I can't see if that will happen. But it is what it is. Yeah, so the insurance, just got the insurance through the Travel Republic again, their insurance, and for both of us it was £53.26. And that was what it was, that was fine. The tubes for both of us was £78. Yeah, we did a lot of tubing, a lot of underground tubing. And you know, the stops that, you know, we were on like a 10-11 stops, and it would cost us about £2 or £2.20 or something like that, and it was really cheap compared to, you know, the tubes here. So yeah, that was all kind of getting there, getting around, insurance, all the things that you kind of really needed. Food and drink, we ate and drank in some lovely restaurants, really quite what you would class here as expensive restaurant. over there, but it's not expensive. Yeah, we ate some really, really lovely places. We had lots of what we would call pit stops, as if we've been walking for a while and we just wanted a drink or, you know, sit down for a coffee and things like that. There was lots of that going on. And all in all, for the all food and drink, because remember we were room only, so it was breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, coffees, everything. We spent £643, which I think for the amount that we ate and drank in the areas and the food that we had, I think it was really good. If you go for a really nice restaurant, the two of you, sort of 3 courses with drinks, you're looking at £100, and that's just a dinner. I think what we spent was actually quite good. The bullet train, like I said, was the most expensive day we'd had. I don't regret it. It was all obviously within budget, but yeah, that was the most expensive day, and for both of us that was £686. But probably once in a lifetime. So yeah, we had the money, let's just do it. And I wanted to go to Kyoto, so it was the quickest and easiest way to get there. Then for the things that we kind of did when we were there, what colour should we do here? Let's go this screen. The Book in Bed cafe that we went to, it's called a hotel actually, the Book in Bed Hotel. We paid £16.77 for both of us, and that included, again, a really nice coffee. You could spend as long as you wanted in there. It had loads of different books. It was just an experience really, and it was one that we wanted to see. So yeah, that was all good. The 2D cafe. So in the 2D cafe, we spent £17.41. And that was obviously, you don't pay to go in there, but the coffee and the drinks and the food is more expensive because obviously it's a attraction, isn't it really? So they whacked their prices up a little bit, which is fair enough. We both had a coffee each, and a bit of cake. So yeah, £17.49. I thought that was quite good. The zoo we went to was really lovely. I have very mixed feelings about zoos, as in I love to see the animals. I'm not sure if I agree with them being caged up, but on the other hand, if they were born in the zoo, they probably wouldn't survive in the wild. So very mixed feelings about all of that. But it was lovely. We saw pandas, I saw polar bears. Yeah, it was just a lovely day, really. And that was £7 for both of us, so £3.50 each. Again, if you've gone to like London Zoo, I don't know how much you pay. It would probably, well, you're looking at 25 each, aren't you, really? So you're like £50 for a day. It's crazy, like £7. I don't know how they do it for that. And it wasn't any busier than you would find like a big zoo, like London or Longley or Marwell or, places like that. So yeah, I don't know how they do it for so cheap. The garden we went to was £2 for both of us. It was about £1 each. You could spend all day there. I imagine if it was like a lovely long, nice warm day, you could take a picnic in a book and you could literally spend the day there. We obviously didn't have the time to do something like that, but yeah, I mean, for £2, crazy. The castle we went to in Kyoto was lovely. I don't think I got much footage of that actually. Castle in the grounds, yeah, really, really nice, and that costs us £13. again, somewhere like that, National Trust, you're looking at £20 easy. So yeah, really, really good. The Maid Cafe, now that was the most expensive one we went to, and I couldn't video in there, but oh my gosh, what an experience. They're absolutely nuts. And we both had a drink and an ice cream that was all decorated, and they put on this like little show, and you had to say like certain things called like meow meow if you wanted them over. It was really weird. But again, an experience. I think I had a Coke or a coffee, and Andy had a beer. We were talking to some Australian family that are in there, and he said it was the most expensive beer he's ever paid for, and yes, it was. But again, it's the experience, and you could have your photo taken with them, and yeah, it was just a bit of fun. So another thing to tick off the list. But that was £55 for both of us. So yeah, not cheap, but it was all good. The Micro Pig Cafe, which maybe I'm a bit naive, but I thought Micro Pigs were like little baby, tiny. And they are tiny, obviously, when they're born, but they can weigh, when they're fully grown, up to, I think it was 40 pounds or 40 kilograms. I don't know, but it was a lot, way a lot, and like a lot more than I imagined. So yeah, that was £20, and we got obviously you could spend time in with the pigs, which was lovely, and I got a coffee, and that was £20. Man, I got £13 off of that for basically following them on Instagram and tagging them or mentioning them in a story of mine while I was over there. £13 off. I literally put the story up, I showed them to get them a discount, and I took the story back down again. So yeah, that was £13. It's £13, isn't it, really? Forever frugal, hey? Right, and then what we did not expect to have to pay for. So we get to the airport, flight coming home, and it turns out that with British Airways, I didn't realise that. So basically we had paid for our baggage to go out, but we didn't pay for baggage to come home. I don't know whether that was my mistake, Travel Republic not making that clear when I booked it, or whether that's a British Airways thing that they kind of put in small print so they get that. Because, what you're going to do, you can't leave your baggage there, can you? So, yeah. So, but because we didn't know that we had to pay for that, they were really friendly, really nice. So we did have to pay £178 for both of our bags. But they did give us a free upgrade to premium economy, which you just got more leg room and nicer food and bits like that, which was nice. So yeah, again, an expense that we weren't expecting, but we had to do it. So, and I think because we got the upgrade, you would pay, well, a lot more than that if you were to upgrade. I think I did actually look before we went away, and it was about £600 each just to upgrade to premium economy. Yeah, so so that was it. That was basically what we spent. Did obviously buy some souvenirs and bits as well, which all came to about £100. Got a kimono, £8 for a kimono, and it is absolutely lovely. Yeah. Just some bits and pieces really for coming back, £100, which was quite a lot. Yeah, so all in all, we spent, including everything, was £4,116.44. And so that was £2,058.13 each. That was what we spent. I personally don't think that was overly expensive for what we did, where we went, the memories that we have now got. We would have gone to Canaries in the summer and we would have spent probably the same, maybe slightly less for, 10 days all inclusive in a hotel. But even when we go all inclusive, we still like to eat out and go for drinks out. So we still would have spent more. We wouldn't have had the experiences that we did, just like a beachy holiday. So I feel like money-wise, we definitely got value for money, and you could have done it a lot cheaper. Like, if we were to ever go back, we wouldn't do all the things that we've done. Like, we might go back to Kyoto, but we wouldn't do the Ben book, we wouldn't do a 2-day zoo, gardens, the May Cafe, the Pig Cafe, we wouldn't do all of that. So, obviously you still have to do your flights and your insurance and bits like that, and the food, you could quite easily eat for about £10 a day if you wanted to. 7-Elevens are amazing. The sushi or noodle bars, really good food and so cheap. So you definitely could eat well for a lot less. It's just that we wanted to experience lots of different things. So, and we like nice restaurants. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do any more colouring on that. I don't know if I don't have to colour all of that in. I quite like the way that pops out. I'm not sure. Let's have a bit of yellow just to finish up here. So yeah, I think for experience, for money, all of that, I think we did well. Could definitely do it cheaper now I've been and I know what to expect. I definitely wouldn't pay for transfers again. I would just get a taxi. Probably wouldn't do the tubes and bits like that because it's where we stayed was a little, you'd have to get like sort of 2 or 3, and I think with luggage and things like that, it's just hassle, isn't it? So I probably wouldn't do that. But yeah, taxis you could quite easily get for half the price of what we paid for transfers, considering one never turned up anyway. Yeah, definitely could do it a lot cheaper. And at the end of the day, we had a lovely holiday. It was all saved for, all bought, all cash paid. Yeah, we had an amazing time. So any questions or anything like that, just give me a comment or a message through Insta, and I'll be happy to give you any advice if you fancy doing it. But yes, definitely would recommend Japan. People kept saying, oh, it's so expensive, but I really don't think it was, considering what we got from it. So yes, anyway, I'm going to leave you now because I feel like I've chatted for way too much. And yes, I hope you'll have a good day, a good budget, and remember, if it's not a good budget, there is always next week. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and crack on. Anyway, until next time, mwah! See you later!